What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to our channel here at Vagabond Builds, and today we're bringing you a comparison video of two cars here with the Kia Sorento SX Prestige X-Line trim, and we're going to be comparing this to the 2023 Kia Sorento in the SX trim. Now we're going to be talking about the specs, the exteriors and interiors, and what's different with similarities. But before we do and even start this video, because it's not a sponsored video, if you guys do appreciate our content and like our channel, please tap that like button, subscribe to our channel. And if you got something for us to film, email us and we can talk details later. A special shout out and a thank you to Roseville Kia here at the Roseville Auto Mall for providing us this beautiful Kia Sorento on both trims for this review. Now keep watching, stay tuned, we're dropping those MSRP stickers so you guys get an exact idea of what comes on these cars with the price tag on top. Now let's go ahead and talk Kia Sorento. So now let's kick this comparison review video off with talking some specs. Now, the only reason we popped up one hood is because in the SX and the SX Prestige X-Line, you get that same powertrain in the 2.5 liter four-cylinder turbocharged engine that gives you an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission with 281 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. For anybody who'd like to know about the MPG, 22 city, 27 highway, and a 24 combined with the 17.7 gallon gas tank size. Now everybody remember, if you don't have the EX, the SX Prestige, or the SX Prestige X-Line, you do not get the turbocharged engine. But if you get the lower trims, it comes with a four-cylinder naturally aspirated. Keep that in mind so you guys know that, okay? Whoop. I thought this hood had shocks, but I forget, no shocks, okay? So now let's talk front end. We have a lot going on, all right? So this is the X-Line SX Prestige, and this is just the SX trim. Now we got a lot of differences from the X-Line. Now the X-Line is gonna be a little bit more rugged off-road look, and the bumper fascias are different, okay? Whole lot of difference here, whole lot of difference down here. Fog lights, different shapes slightly. They kind of look the same, but these are a little bit bigger. Now, with the grill, same shape, but it's in a different finish. You got kind of a matte gray finish here on the grill with a camera and bumper sensors integrated on the SX Prestige X-Line. Whereas here on the SX, this is going to be a little bit more luxurious feel, kind of bougie on the front end, with the grill being in that piano black and the cut here for that airflow going over to that tire. And then you got your lower grill with that fog light area. We left those on so you guys get an idea, but overall this is a piano black finish compared to the matte black plastic that kind of is more of an off-road take a beating feel, okay? On the SX you do not have front camera or side camera, so no surround view, and you do not have bumper sensors on the SX, okay? But the SX Prestige X-Line, you literally get all the bells and whistles, right? Lighting same, along with the hazards, pretty much the same. Now, coming over to the sides, what do we see that is different? Wheel well trims, they are painted on the SX in that piano black look, to where the X-Line gets that kind of matte plastic, giving it that more rugged feel, as I mentioned. Dropping down to the tire area, again, these are the black gloss rims, and they're running Continental cross contacts. And the size on these are 225 45/20s on the SX, with the regular strut suspension. And then we come over to the Continental cross contacts on the X-Line, and these are going to be the LX Sport tires, with this tire size being, let me find those real quick, 255 45/20, okay? So a little slightly different on the tire itself with that matte gray finish and the regular strut suspension. Continuing forward, you have the black gloss trim here from the fender over to the door, to where this is a kind of a matte gray finish with the X-Line emblem, letting you know that this is the X-Line trim. Side mirrors come automatic foldable with the blinker lighting, blind spot assist, and the camera here integrated that is different. This is different on the X-Line SX Prestige, no camera here on the SX. Keyless fob entry, same color as the car. The trims are different on the lower rocker panel area. Black gloss with this matte black plastic finish. Up top, because X-Line, you get those rugged roof rails here, to where the SX, you get those black gloss kind of classier roof rails, right? Around the windows, again, same look, same trim around the windows. Coming over to the rear end. But before we start talking rear end, dimensions on these cars themselves are. So if you have the all-wheel drive, okay, the all-wheel drive ground clearance is 8.2 inches ground clearance. But if you have just the front wheel drive, it drops that down to about 6.9 inches of ground clearance. The length within height, starting with length, is 189 inches, 75 inches on the width, and 70 inches on height. Now, brings us over to the rear end. Again, a lot going on. Now, the bumper fascias are completely different. From the SX over to the X line, you get the different look on the parking reflectors. Yes, you do have bumper sensors on both cars, but you get different look on the trim itself and the shapes of how the bumper fascia looks. Camera integrated over the license plate on both cars with the spoiler integrated brake light system, all right? Back lights are the same 4X in both, letting you know it's all-wheel drive, all right? So moving down from the rear tail lights that are similar, we come over to the bumper fascia again, and we have this little side cut here. To whereas if we come over to the X line, I want to show you guys how much the X line simplifies that back bumper fascia. As mentioned, you do not have the cuts. The trim is completely different all around here. Your parking reflectors, your backup lights are different. Now, you still get the bumper sensors and the camera over the license plate. But again, main differences are in this back bumper fascia. Up top in that spoiler with that brake light system integration is similar to both, okay? Now, let's go ahead and open up to cargo. Oh, sorry, wrong place. Open up cargo, and let's talk some cargo area. Similarities and differences, okay? So pretty much differences, we do not have any with regards to the differences inside the cargo area. You come over to the right passenger side, and this little panel here, 12 volt, 180 watt outlet, all right? And then you get the second row buttons to drop those second row captain chairs. And you get that in both the SX and also the SX Prestige X line. Now we go ahead and pop this open. You got your tire situation with some more cubby room, some tie downs for groceries and things of that sort, all right? Now the spare tire you do have on both cars. If we come over to the SX, just wanted to show you guys a quick look, what it looks, and pretty much no differences on the cargo area. But if you want some cargo area cubic feet or space, you get about 12 cubic feet of space with that third row seat up. If we drop that third row seat down, you get 45 cubic feet of space. And then if both second and third row seats are down, you get a full whopping 75 cubic feet of space in both cars. Go ahead and drop that tailgate. Now, when properly equipped with the turbocharged powertrain, as both of these cars are, you get up to 3,500 pounds of towing capacity. But if you have the naturally aspirated engine in these, it drops that down to 2,000 pounds of towing capacity. Now that we're done with some specs, cargo area, and exterior differences and similarities, let's go ahead and talk interiors. So now sitting inside the interior of the SX trim, that is only the SX trim, okay? And the 7 main differences right off the bat on the front side of this interior is, we're gonna start with the door panel area, okay? The door panel, you get the memory seating buttons on the X line, but not here on the SX. All right, so no memory seating. You also get the Bose premium sound system on the X line, to where here on the SX, you do not have the Bose premium sound. All right, also ventilated seats. You have the extra button here, ventilated seat button on the X line, to where here you do not have the ventilated seat. Nor do you have the heated steering wheel here on the SX trim also, okay? You also don't get leg extension button here on the left-hand side of just the driver's seat, okay? So driver's seat in the X line gets that leg extension here on the seat. You'll have that little piece kind of rolls out, and the button is here on the left-hand side. Also, another difference will be that you get seat trim is completely different. So the look on the seat wrap is different, and we're gonna be showing you guys that later. And then you get the trim, the inlays. The inlays are completely different, all right, going across the car, and then your door panels. And then the 360 camera. If we come over to the 360 camera, here you only get that rear camera, to whereas the X line, you get that full surround view with the bird's eye view and all that good stuff, okay? Now, that's literally the difference, but we want to bring over the Sorento to you guys as a look, and the door panel itself with your switches here to your windows, and then the switches here for your mirrors. They are automatic foldable on both trims, the SX and the SX Prestige X line. The vents themselves, they look the same with the steering wheel with the piano black and the silver coming together. On the left-hand side of this manual steering column, you have a few buttons: traction control, lane departure assist button, tailgate lift, and your lighting for your dashboard. Driver cockpit cluster pretty much looks the same. Wanted to show you guys when we go through modes, you have 5 different modes on these: snow, eco, comfort, sport, and smart. And it kind of gives you a different look on the cluster every mode that you're in. That is different. That is super cool, and that happens on both, okay? Interface, go ahead and show you guys the interface. Pretty responsive and touch sensitive. Is very nice. Now, you do have a whole lot of bells and whistles inside both these cars. I want to show you guys the map itself. You can do a split screen or a full screen. All right, now if you do shoot over to Roseville Kia and you want to spend some time, they got guys that will show you the ins and outs of these cars themselves here at the Roseville Auto Mall. Just tell them Vagabond Builds sent you, okay? Yes, it's not a sponsored video. So remember, tap that like button and subscribe right now here at Vagabond Builds. Now, continuing forward so we don't go off on a sidetrack, sorry. Controls for your temperatures, all right, dual climate control unit here. And this is how it works. Touch sensitive for the fans, and then AC and all that good stuff. You can sync them. Dropping down, heated seats as mentioned. You have the USB ports for charging, and then USB port here. Wireless charging pad in both. Cup holders, your shift lever. This is where you were going through modes with your locking system. And then engine automatic on and off, auto hold, hill decline assist, parking sensors, camera, and the parking brake button. Removable tray with some more personal cubby room. Above this center console, you have a full panoramic glass that goes all the way over to the second row. So this people, first row and second row, are feeling a whole lot less claustrophobic and more in touch or in tune with the outside world. Electric sun visor. Just wanted to show you guys how that works. Very convenient on these cars themselves. And then again, both these seats are electric controlled with that kind of perforated look and that kind of triangular design on that center of the insert. It is very cool, okay? Then you're straight to the point glove compartment. Now that we're pretty much done with the front side, let's go show you second and third row seat and what are the differences and similarities of these Sorento trims. Now let's talk second row captain seating inside this Sorento of the SX trim and get a load of how nice and wide these seats are. We got the same look coming in over from the front to the back on the wrap trim on the seats. And then you can control these seats 3 different ways, okay? Just from here, you have the lever to move it back and forth. You have the lever here on the side to drop that backrest. And then you have a button right under that lever to bunny hop this seat forward so you get that area to go into that third row seating area. Now let's go ahead and drop this back. Let's go ahead and step inside. Now, right off the bat, being inside the car, the main differences between the SX and the SX Prestige X line, you literally have heated seats on the second row. The SX does not get heated seats, and that button will be right here on the side, right near the window switch. You do not get an inverter here in the SX trim, okay? But you get the sun visors in the SX Prestige X line and no sun visors here at the SX. Those are the 3 main differences here in the back. But overall, we want to bring the look over to you guys with the door panels, the USB-A ports, the double pockets. You get the mesh pocket, and then you get that full pocket. Again, you get that USB-A charging port with your outlets and the vents. Panoramic glass that comes over. That comes over to the second row seating as mentioned. Now, leg room and head clearance, I'm about 6 feet 2 inches. You get enough leg room here. All right, and that's actually being pretty set forward on this seat with your head clearance is completely there, and you can actually drop this captain seating with this armrest a whole lot so you get that more comfortable ride. So this is a long road trip check car, okay? Now let's go ahead and jump onto the third row seating, and we're gonna go ahead and bunny hop. You can bunny hop this seat from 2 different places, here and also up here on the shoulder area. That shoulder area will be more used for the third row seaters. Let's go ahead and come back. Now, I'm a tall person, so I'm gonna be kind of slightly tight. My head is touching the top, all right? And then the leg clearance is there, but if you do set this seat back, that you are going to take away from a leg clearance. To the right and left, in both trims, literally similar in the back here. You get the area here, right and left, for some, I don't know, you know, personal things, your cup holders, your USB-A ports on each side. You get those. So that's pretty much straight to the point. And one thing I do like that Kia did is keep the same exact look from the first row to the second row over to the third row in that same leather wrap, all right? Now let's go ahead and jump inside the SX Prestige X-Line trim and show you guys what it looks like. So now inside the SX Prestige X-Line, and starting with what I mentioned in the difference, see that memory seating button option here? You get that little switch there for the memory seating. That's different, okay? And then you come over to the Bose Premium Sound System. Let me go ahead and open that door so you guys get an idea. Bose Premium Sound. Then the leg extension. Let me show you guys that button and how this leg extension will extend. All right, that is just on the driver's seat, okay, in the SX Prestige X-Line. And then we come over to the center console area. The other three, or the next three, you have the ventilated seats here in the SX Prestige X-Line. You get the heated steering wheel. And then you get the 360 camera. Let me show you guys the angles there, all that. All right, letting you know, and bird's eye view. Put that in home. And then the seats themselves, all right? The seats, again, they are completely different. They have the perforated, but they don't have those little triangles inside the center of that seat, but you get them on that design and more plush look here in the X-Line. And then again, this is not natural wood, but it looks like natural wood. Inlays that you get in and giving it more of a luxurious feel. But overall, everything else literally is the same, okay? Similarities between modes, clusters, infotainment screen. Remember Apple CarPlay, Android Assist. You get that inside both of these cars. And then you do not get heads-up display and no live feed camera. Being the top trim of the Sorentos, you do not get that, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the second row seating and show you guys the differences. Second row seating in the SX Prestige X-Line. Now, what do we see that's different? The three differences I mentioned are the sun visor. All right, that is different. The heated seats right there near your window switch, okay? And then we have that inverter here right near the 12-volt outlet and the USB-A plug-in. You have a 115-volt inverter if you want to bring like an air fryer or hair dryer or whatever. I have no idea why you would, but just bring it if you need it. And then again, the seats do look different here on the second row seating. But again, overall, literally everything else is similar. Now, I'm not going to jump into the third row seating because again, like I mentioned, it is similar, but I want to show you guys something, is that they do not put those side bolsters here on the seats. They still have the perforated look, but they don't have those plush looks here on the right and left that will look like the first and second row seating here, okay? That's something they don't do on the third row seating in the X-Line, all right? But now, as promised, we're gonna be dropping those MSRP stickers. So here's the MSRP sticker to the SX trim alone, all right? And the price tag, so you guys get an idea of what comes on it. And then here is the MSRP sticker to the SX Prestige X-Line trim and what comes on it and the price tag. Now, we appreciate you guys watching our channel here at Vagabond Builds. Again, remember, tap that like button, subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate you guys' support. And also, guys, keep watching, stay tuned. We have more cool things coming here at Vagabond Builds. God bless you.